Hello, so today we are going to be talking about manipulatives that can be used in math, and I am actually choosing to use an online manipulative through the Math Learning Center. So how you get here is you go to Resources and then to Math Apps. I'm going to scroll down. I am actually going to be using geoboards today, which we all know are also a tangible manipulative that students can use. Geoboards, traditionally, when we were in school, were usually wooden boards with little pegs sticking out of them, and you use colorful rubber bands just like seen on this board. And now there are also plastic geoboards with little pegs in them and rubber bands as well, and also this online manipulative. So this geoboard is a 5x5 geoboard, which is a great starting tool for students to use. You can also see down here there's a larger geoboard with much more area to cover, and then there's also a circular geoboard where you can start discovering angles and stuff like that with students. So one way that I think you could use this at a younger grade is with numbers and algebraic thinking. So in this instance, I would have students create a number sentence with these two number lines. So you can see in this first one, this is a number line showing 9, and this is a number line showing 6. So what I would have my students do is I would have them show their thinking and discover what the difference is between these two units and create a number sentence doing that. So in the end, I would want my students to use a different rubber band color. We use blue to show me that the difference between these two units would be 3. So I'd have my students do that and show me how they found the difference, and I'd also have them create a number sentence to show me how they did that. Another great way that geoboards can be used is by introducing area and perimeter to students. This is a great way to use the larger geoboard. You can see this square is a perimeter of 8 and an area of 4. So I'd have my students do that. This is a great way for them to be able to visualize area and perimeter. And then later on, you can have your students start to create their own. So you could ask your students to create a square with an area of 16, like in this picture. And they would create that. Or later on, you could have them create multiple images in one geoboard. Another way to practice using geometry with geoboards is in 5th grade when you talk about area of right triangles. So you can see here I've made a right triangle. We would really develop this with students and help them to figure out and understand why the area of this triangle is 2. So we would work with that with students, and then eventually we can move on to having them create multiple different right triangles, different sizes, different directions, and just understanding how area with triangles works. So what I would do when using this in my 3rd grade practicum class this year is I would use it with fractions. So like we've talked about in class recently, it's hard for students to understand not only the difference between fractions like fourths, halves, eighths, but also the size of how in this image a fourth is 2 units big, but in this image a fourth is 1. So having them compare if they wanted half of this candy bar or a fourth of this candy bar, without looking at them, students might think, well, I would rather have a half of the candy bar. But then they notice down here, when they look at these, that the fourth of this candy bar and the half of this one is actually the same size. So having students understand the differences between sizes of fractions. Here they'll notice that an eighth, this one is split into eighths and this is split into fourth, but the full units is still the same size. Really having students think and discover fractions using the pegboard to help them manipulate it and visualize it and really be able to understand fractions better. So that is how I would use geoboards in my classroom. There are so many fun ways to do it, so many different lessons you can teach with geoboards, and it really helps students just visualize and understand the math they're doing with their hands. So I would definitely use geoboards in my classroom someday. Thanks for watching.